I know I want to get a 90-degree shoulder turn, but I feel like, frankly, I felt like physically I wasn't able to do it. And he showed me why I wasn't able to get that turn, and I'd like to talk through that now and how the bottom part needs to work.
Great. So, you know, if we're trying to get that 90-degree turn, a really easy way to do it, simple way to do it, is to actually get the first 45 really from your core, your navel is what we talked about. If I just turn my navel 45 degrees, obviously everything's connected here. My shoulders are going to turn too. Right? So now I've got a nice 45-degree shoulder turn from doing nothing, from just standing here, turning my navel. Now what I actually have is, because I haven't used much of my spine at all, I have a lot of spine turn left, and that was a big key for us, right?
Huge.
You couldn't get deep enough. You're like, why can't I get deep enough?
JT, help me.
And so it's because Eric was actually doing the shoulders too much too soon. So he was sort of doing the opposite. So he didn't have much turn left.
So like that part, the first key, like if you do that club across again, so when JT does the first parts, that gets us 45. The chest and shoulders are turning 45 when I did it, but I wasn't feeling like my chest and shoulders were doing anything, right? That was completely for free. And he explained to me, hey, if you want to get 90, you already can get 45 from just this core navel region, and then the chest and shoulders kick in, you told me, from there to the top. And then all of a sudden, like in one swing, I went from like feeling like I could barely get 70, 80 degrees of a shoulder turn to like well past 90. And it all came from getting this core region or navel behind us early. You guys hear me say all the time that you need video feedback. And the newest version of Live View Golf is absolutely the best form of simultaneous video feedback. And not only is video the best way to give yourself feedback, but being able to see yourself simultaneously as you're doing a movement is the best form of video feedback. It's the best way I've seen to make changes in your swing and be able to correlate the differences between your feels and your reels. Live View is super easy to set up and use. Simply set it up behind or in front of you. You connect it with your iPad or your phone. You put that right on the ground. I can literally see myself as I'm swinging. It is the best form of practice. I encourage you guys to check out the newest version of Live View Golf. We'll put a link in the description down below with a coupon code. All right, guys, so in today's video, we're gonna talk about how this man to my left, Mr. JT Thomas, fixed my golf swing, and in particular, the backswing. I want to show you guys some of the drills that I did originally when I started working with JT to help fix my swing that really made a huge difference. And part of the reason for this video, you know, JT and I coach together in person. We used to a lot more, but we coach together online every single day. And I see a lot of the lessons JT gives. He sees a lot of lessons that I give. And we're saying these pieces we're about to tell you now all the time to players to help build in a backswing to make the downswing pieces easier, right? And so this was effectively the first lesson that JT gave me ever in person. The core things that we worked on were increasing my backswing turn and depth of the arm stance club, right? But it wasn't just that he told me I needed to do those things, it's specifically how he showed me to do those that were so important to help me that I want to talk about today. And so let's flip off spots, JT, and I want to ask you a couple questions here.
For sure.
For the drills that we were talking about, one of the key pieces I'd like you to demonstrate that you showed me, because I kept asking JT, like, I know I want to get a 90-degree shoulder turn, but I feel like, frankly, I felt like physically I wasn't able to do it. And he showed me why I wasn't able to get that turn, and I'd like to talk through that now and how the bottom part needs to work.
Great. So, you know, if we're trying to get that 90-degree turn, a really easy way to do it, simple way to do it, is to actually get the first 45 really from your core, your navel is what we talked about. If I just turn my navel 45 degrees, obviously everything's connected here. My shoulders are going to turn too. Right? So now I've got a nice 45-degree shoulder turn from doing nothing, from just standing here, turning my navel. Now what I actually have is, because I haven't used much of my spine at all, I have a lot of spine turn left, and that was a big key for us, right?
Huge.
You couldn't get deep enough. You're like, why can't I get deep enough?
JT, help me.
And so it's because Eric was actually doing the shoulders too much too soon. So he was sort of doing the opposite. So he didn't have much turn left.
So like that part, the first key, like if you do that club across again, so when JT does the first parts, that gets us 45. The chest and shoulders are turning 45 when I did it, but I wasn't feeling like my chest and shoulders were doing anything, right? That was completely for free. And he explained to me, hey, if you want to get 90, you already can get 45 from just this core navel region, and then the chest and shoulders kick in, you told me,
Yeah,
from there to the top.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like in one swing, I went from like feeling like I could barely get 70, 80 degrees of a shoulder turn to like well past 90. And it all came from getting this core region or navel behind us early.
Yes.
And so from a conceptual standpoint, that helped a ton. And then just let's talk about how the arms went along with that.
Yes,
right?
so that's really important as well. So if we start to pull the arms behind too, we're going to stop turning as well. So the easiest drill that we did for this, and this is an awesome drill, we literally give it every day online, is just taking a club, putting it right in your sternum, straightening out your trail arm, putting your lead arm in front of it. So it's really important that your lead arm's in front, you know, maybe 6 inches, 8 inches. Now, what most people do when they start turning back is, let's say they'll turn a little, you know, maybe turn 20 degrees, and then they stop and they start pulling their lead arm in past their turn. So you never want to get this lead arm, especially early, past your turn.
That's
you
good.
Always want your turn beating your lead arm.
Yes.
And that's the feel that we had. And because you had not only more space here in this first section of the swing, now you had much more space to pull it back to help you with that turn that you were struggling with. So building the backswing that way, where we have, hey, I'm trying to get my first free 45 from literally just taking and turning my stomach here. As I'm doing that, I'm keeping my arms in front of my body so I have more room to load them, which helps me turn the second half. So here I'm getting that free 45, nice, my shoulders are turned, my arms are in front. The second 45 I'm getting from the top half of my spine as I really pull my arms and my shoulders, and now look, I'm getting even more turn. So that's how we built that for you.
Dude, that was huge for me.
Yep.
And when we looked at those videos, it's a shame, I probably should have kept those better so we could show them. But like the before and after of what I looked like from face on went from probably here-ish, is at least what it felt like, to here in like a golf swing. And of course, because I didn't make a good enough backswing turn, my arms and hands were up, then when I come down, I had to do a lot of things to try and fix that, which then by getting enough turn and depth, I don't have to do any of those pieces. That's for another video. But for the backswing pieces, I just want to go through this one time in terms of my feels. So I remember I have the club here sort of in front of me, and I feel like I'm getting my first half of the swing started with just this core motion. So I remember thinking belt buckle or belly button, kind of navel behind us, like
facing
towards the camera. And I'm doing that without like pushing my hip right back, right? So my hips stay underneath me as I'm feeling the sort of rib cage, belly button away from us. Now from there, if I had the arms in front along with that, I'm not, and this is something we had a lot of discussions on kind of throughout the year, I'm not having my arms go right along with that. Right?
Because you get too much shoulder turn when you do that. That's why it's a big issue for you, right?
Yeah, I like bust that too early. Right? And so this is where this drill would come in. So maybe in the beginning I'm doing a couple of these, right? I was getting the turning pieces. I can pop this in now with my lead arm in front, feel that same motion, and have my arms and hands in front of me, in front of me early. And then from here, the chest and shoulders go, the arms pull around, and that even flows then into the early downswing. So let me do one or two with just that, and then I want to talk through some of the little detail stuff there. So my belly button sort of behind me early, then my chest and shoulders keep going, and the hands keep kind of pushing up and back or pulling up and back around.
Really nice shoulder turn.
As I do early transition. Let me hit one with that here first. So I'm keeping my hips underneath me, but I'm getting the belly button behind me, chest and shoulders, and the depth pieces later. So that feels like my spine and chest and shoulders turning a lot later, right? So every person I've seen JT do this with, and the people that I tell this to, the timing of the turning, dramatic difference with the turn. We get a lot of people who are like, hey, I physically feel like I'm unable to do the rotation. Like, all right, hang on a minute.
Exactly.
Right? Let's show you how to do this. And so if you're in that boat where you feel like, hey, I'm not able to get as much of the turn on the way back, I'm getting older, this would be a piece you'd want to look at. And so just with the arm piece, right? Because this was something that we looked at after this. After I started getting the turn going, I was getting my arms in too early. And one of the things JT gave me, so that looked like this. I would kind of go like here, right? My arms would get too far in, too low, too early. One of the pieces JT had me do, which this was another one that came up later, but in the beginning, was like literally hold my left hand with my right hand And as I was feeling this turning, I would be feeling like my arm stayed more in front. I was effectively trying to get this down the toe line is what we were doing, right?
Yes.
So this was going down my toe line as my body was turning. So I don't get the depth of the arms and the hands early. I get it late backswing, sort of early downswing. So the feel that I had was here, here, with this, with this. And I remember that would really help me a lot, JT, because as I was turning my belly button away with the arms in front, the weight of the arms and hands pulling around me with the turning, to your point, that really helped. They helped each other.
They helped each other.
They helped each other.
And that's so important when we're swinging. We really don't want those forces fighting each other so much. We want them, especially when we're trying to build in turn, we need them to work more together. Yeah, so pure.
Yeah, I felt really good.
So
and
pure.
definitely the timing, yeah, that's something I need to keep an eye on, right? Because like I want to err on just doing it right away, doing it right away, doing it right away, and then I have some consequences coming down. So let me try that one more time.
And
you see anything else I got to do there? Belt buckle?
Yeah, that was really good. And the reason it's so important for you is because your arms work so up late, right? Everything works so up late for you. That was a big issue.
Yeah, I was like
Yes.
here, maybe even more than that. Yeah. So I had to really feel the in and around. So belly button, turn with the arms in front early.
Yep.
Then turn the chest and shoulders and create the depth late.
Yep. Yeah, so good.
And whether it's like the math on paper is whatever, like I know I saw the videos when we would do it, and obviously it always feels different than what it looks like on camera. Noticeable difference for me when I turn the core early and get the arms, hands in front, my brain, it feels very easy when my arms are here to create that depth. It feels very hard for me when my hands get too far in with the turn to create the depth. They want to go up.
Yes.
And so just this little caveat with the arms being in front, because you were really harping on me on that for a while, of having them more here first, and then creating the depth. Late depth. Okay, last one.
Depth.
Late depth. So belly button, turn arms in front early.
Late depth. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that feels really good.
So good. Perfect.
So
Love it.
we could probably talk about the micro details of like our swing process for, like an hour or so. So I think just to keep it simple, think about that in terms of process-wise, guys. Like that's what helped me. If you're someone who's looking for more backswing turn to improve the backswing, body, core early with the arms in front, create the chest and shoulder turn with the arms later, and start with that as a stock, right? And then obviously you see where you're at on what side your pattern is and you go from there. So if you want that sort of level of detail, the things that really helped me with my own golf swing, would urge you to check out CogornoGolf.com. That's where JT and I coach online. You can get lessons from us there. Or if you want to go see JT in person, we'll put his info down below, or you can send us a message. We'll hook you up. JT coaches all over the place in person. I'm sure he would love to work with you as well. If you guys did like this video and want to do us a favor, really help support the channel, click the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. All that really helps get these videos out to more people. We would appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching.